Hello financial investors and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing our stock market weekly recap for the 7th to the 11th of September 2020. We're going to go ahead and cover the four main indexes, taking a look at the performance for this past week. Then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the entire S&P 500 performance, what stocks were up, what stocks were down, what sectors were strong, what sectors were weak. Then we will take a look at oil, the dollar, silver, gold, bonds, take out the 10-year rate, and then finish it up by taking a look at the current mortgage rate. So that is what we're going to be doing today. I believe I did it last week as well. This past week here has been really hectic here in Oregon as we've had a ton of fires, so I really haven't been making too much content. It's just kind of been listening and watching the news. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Of course, if you are brand new to my channel, definitely go down below, hit the red button to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified every time I release a new video, and of course give this video a thumbs up by hitting that little thumbs up, making it blue. And let's go ahead and get into the video. So this past week was a bit of a wild ride here. So on Friday we were off on Monday, so the market kind of started pretty negative here on Tuesday for the week, down 2.78% in a single day. Now that was a big swing to the downside, and then a massive swing to the upside on Wednesday. So it was a really crazy teeter-totter this week. So Tuesday down 2.78, 2.01 up on Wednesday, down 1.76 on Thursday, and Friday just kind of ending flat for the day. But still, the 5-day change over the past 5 days, the S&P 500 is down 2.51%. You can see that we have lost quite a bit of points since our high of 3,588. This was just 2 weeks ago that we had hit a high. I believe it shows it right there. Actually, when I hover over it, I didn't know that it did that in the past, but I guess if I hover over it, it shows you the date is September 2nd, 2020. That was when the stock market hit a high. Let's see if we can see it for the low, if it lets me do it here. Oh yeah, right there. So on March 23rd of 2020, that was the S&P 500's low of 2,182. So that's pretty interesting there. I really like that. I didn't know about that before, but we'll definitely be checking that out. So Dow Jones here, down for the week 1.66%, not as hit as the S&P 500. You could definitely see it didn't have as much upside potential this week. So on Tuesday, in comparison to the S&P 500, was down 2.78. The Dow Jones wasn't down as much, but it also didn't recover as much on Wednesday, only 1.6% to the upside. On Friday, it didn't fall as much, and then on Friday, it definitely picked up just a bit more, ending at 0.48%, and I believe maybe that's where it kind of made up that difference there. So it is down for the 5-day change of 1.66%. Now our most beat up index this week is the technology index, the NASDAQ. All those FANG stocks this week were hit pretty hard here, and I believe it's going to continue to happen like that. There was just so much money pouring into the S&P 500, into these tech companies, and there was an article that was released this past week where Apple, Tim Cooks, he actually sold a very large portion of Apple, just taking profits at the top. And now, it's kind of taking a bit of a red toll. So we'll take a look at Apple here in just a second for the weekly performance. But overall, NASDAQ down 4.06%. The Russell 2000 kind of in between the S&P and the Dow Jones, down 2.48. So a lot of those small mid-cap businesses here still getting hit by the illness that's going around the world right now. Then we have stock futures. Not a whole lot here. I don't think this is going to change at all right now, just because it's Saturday right now, going into Monday pre-market hours. That's when you'll start to see stock futures do a bit more. Right now, there's no markets that are open. It's Saturday again, so we'll just have to wait until early Monday morning. Now, here is the charts for the 1 week performance this past week. So right off the bat, what stands out is the FANG stock. So Facebook down 8.42%, Amazon down 7.48%, Apple 7.35%, Google 6.98%, Microsoft 6.11%, Nvidia down 6.54%. So those FANG stocks, just our NASDAQ, our tech heavy stocks, and you can see up in the top left corner, this is a lot of the NASDAQ takes place up in this top left corner up here with a lot of those technology communication companies. Now, there were still other sectors out there that were still pretty beat up. You see financials, they actually did pretty well last week. PayPal would be kind of interesting maybe. I don't know, I'd have to do a little bit more research on that. On PayPal, but down 10.24%. It could still be pretty elevated or a little bit overbought, but that would require more research. I don't want to play into oil anymore, that oil and gas sector. I believe I still own Chevron. I'm not going to be selling out of it at this time, but still, there's no end in sight for oil and gas as far as negativity out there. Now, there are a few sectors out there that do appear to be a little bit green. That would be the home improvement area. So Home Depot and Lowe's doing really well. Nike, I'm actually very surprised of Nike being up 4.56. I'd have to look into, why is Nike up this week? McDonald's, of course, McDonald's doing really nice. Diagnostic companies, kind of interesting. Some healthcare diagnostics. And we have some railroad companies in here, and some farm and heavy construction, but those aren't really top of the line sectors. Not a lot of investors really handpick railroads, handpick farm and heavy construction materials, some diagnostic healthcare companies. I believe that a lot of investors actually stick with consumer defense companies, consumer cyclical, communications and technology, maybe a few financials and REITs in there, and that's why a lot of our portfolios are probably red this week. Now, oil down 5.09% this week. We have the dollar. So we had the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones all moving to the downside. So the dollar probably creeped up just a little bit here. So we started the week at 92.83, ended the week at 93.27. So about 50 cents to the upside there, right? See 20 and 30. Yeah, about 50 cents to the upside there for the week for the dollar, the US dollar index. And silver down 0.56%. So it did have a high here of 27.39. Let's see if I can actually hover over it, and it told me when we had that high. It was on August 10th, 2020. So kind of staying up there. I do believe that silver does have more room for it to fall. There's really no sort of area there, some safety. And then gold here moving to the upside, 0.43%. Kind of interesting. Bonds are up 0.2%. I read an article, but I saw somebody posting on one of the Facebook groups talking about how much bonds do you have in your portfolio. I actually do not invest in bond funds myself. I have cash that's put into a high yield savings account, but I don't actually invest my money in a bond fund or ETF or anything like that. Any money that I actually do have invested in the market at any time is going to be 100% invested in some sort of a business that's going to be producing, net income, revenue, stuff like that. I'm not going to just have it put in my portfolio and then have it invested in bonds. That's why I have cash on the side, and bonds don't really make a whole lot. 5% here, but in reality, if you had just put that money elsewhere in some other type of fund, you'd be up a little bit better for the year. And then we have our bond rate here. I believe last week it was at 0.73 or 0.74, so it is down a few points this week, about 5 points this week, down at 0.67%. So it's kind of interesting that the dollar moved up, yields moved up. So the bond, this moved up, and this moved down. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And then mortgage rates this week fell 1 basis point from 3.12 to now 3.11%. So I haven't locked in a rate. I found out this week that I don't have to do a contingency on my home. So I don't have to sell my home. The way that we were going to be buying a new property was that we're buying a 4-bedroom with an office property. It has to be built still. And I thought because of my other rental properties and then this property that I would have to have a contingency in order to have this house on the market within 2 weeks of making an offer on my other property and having it accepted. And then I had to go ahead and do some paperwork in order to show that I'm able to have that debt and not have to have this one as a contingency in order to have it on the market in 2 weeks. Because if I put my house on the market in 2 weeks, I can't, it's still going to take several months. I believe my closing date's over 100 days away until my closing date actually happens on my other property. and I would have to have this one on the market in 2 weeks, and that would leave nearly 100 days of being on the market. And this house, I can't list it. Well, I could list it pretty high, but the area value of it, it's maybe $270,000, and if I set it for that limit, with what's kind of going on right now in the market, and the need for housing, I believe it would go way too fast, and then I would have to find some other area to live. So I'm really happy that I don't have to do a contingency. I don't have to move out of my house. I could just kind of own my house right now, live in it until we buy our new house, move everything out of it, and then I could either turn it into a rental, or I could just kind of sell it off and put that money elsewhere in order to invest in some other properties elsewhere. But I'm still undecided. There's some properties being built right next door in the land that has not been built on. They already paid down the land. They already put in the electric boxes, ran water over there. So all now they have to do is build properties over there, and they're starting those listed at $330,000. So I may hold on to mine until some of those properties get listed and sold, and then hopefully kind of bring up my property value, and then I can just kind of sell mine off in the future. So that's my kind of plan as far as my home. Now, I didn't post a lot this week. I think I only posted one thing because we had a bit of a crazy week. On Monday, it was a holiday, and on Tuesday, we started having fires nearby in our city. Like our whole next door cities. I live in Medford, Oregon, and Phoenix, Oregon, and Talent, Oregon were completely blazed over by fire. So there's some 600 homes that were destroyed, plus there's a lot of other, not homes themselves, but they're still homes. People lived in them, but they're not considering them homes because they're mobile homes or trailer homes. And there's thousands of individuals out there, with kids, with families that are now without homes right now. And we had a fire like right down the street here. So I was able to walk right outside. Somebody pounded on my door. I was like, what the heck's going on? My wife's like, there's a fire outside. And I thought, what's going on? So I walked outside and I saw this fire over to the right. And that was earlier in the day, and it was still kind of building up. Nobody had actually hit it yet as far as the firefighters. So we started packing up all of our cars, packing up our equipment, put it in there ready to go. And then everyone started arriving there, kind of hitting it, and it kind of got into the night. And then we turned around, and there was another fire on the other side of the street, down the road a little bit. So we had two fires within, this one was just a block away. And it actually it ended up getting put out within 20 feet of the homes there. And if it hit the homes, once it hits houses, it starts burning uncontrollably, and then it starts going to the next houses, and it can go really quickly. Plus the winds here in Oregon were about 20 miles, 25 miles an hour, so that we had some really heavy winds early in the week. So it took out other cities already. Our Phoenix and Talent City is completely gone in some areas. Medford was also kind of lit up on fire. There's another fire down in the Eagle Point, Shady Cove area. So if you look at the Oregon map, I didn't post it here. I think I posted it on another page somewhere. Our city has, it's completely black outside because of the smoke, but it's just so much kind of going on right now. So I haven't really been posting a whole lot. I've just been kind of listening to the scanner and kind of seeing what is going on locally, because there's a lot of individuals out there who are doing some crazy stuff, such as this one. This one actually had somebody get arrested because they found somebody trying to light a fire in a field, and they kind of held him down until the police got there. They arrested him, but there's been other incidents of, stuff happening and people being spotted doing some spotty stuff. So it's definitely a crazy time here in Oregon. So let me know in the comment section down below, how did your portfolio do this past week? Are you in the red? I'm in the red this week, I believe. I haven't really looked at my portfolio, but I could just assume that I'm in the red just because the other markets are down for the week. But that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you all for tuning in. If you have not yet subscribed, go down below, hit the red button to subscribe to this YouTube channel, hit the bell to be notified every time we release a new video. You'll get notified, and of course, hit the thumbs up, make it blue, and that is it. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.